Hi, it's Cynthia from Farm View Creators. Today we're going to work on another insert for the Interchangeable Wagon. This is the Nativity insert and I love it. You know I love all these kits from Christina at the Discovered Cottage. So I am taking all my pieces and I'm putting them on my sticky board. I'm categorizing them based on what colors I want them. And then I'm going to use that Waverly chalk style paint in the color ink as my base on two of the backboards. I'm only going to do one layer of this because it is going to have more paint on top of it, but not that color. And I just don't know why, but I decided to use a mop brush to apply my stain. I kind of wanted it to be a little heavier and richer on these pieces, so maybe that's why I used a mop brush. It actually worked really well. And I used some of the excess on the wise men, and then I didn't have to get any more until I got to the manger scene. And I just dipped a tiny little bit and then brushed it across, and then later I will use the leftovers on the back side of the hooks. And I'm using that Waverly ink on some of the letters. And then the rest of the letters, I wasn't sure which gold I wanted to use, so I have two. One is a heavy metal and one is just a luxe metallic. I decided to go with the heavy metal because I really wanted a lot of sparkle and shine. And when I held it up against the Van Dyke brown stain, I felt like the French gold looked a little bit better because it was a little less yellowy in the gold. I am using a makeup wedge to dab this across the pieces. And I will go back and do that again. And it just had such a beautiful sparkle. You can't really see it. This camera does not do justice to it. I wish you could see it in person. The heavy metals, you have to shake them up a lot to get them to mix well. And because I thought I might use them last night, I did put the container upside down just to allow that to naturally mix. So I did use a little bit of my Debbie's DIY dark wax on the backboard. I am going to wet distress this, but I wanted just to, make sure that I had the distressing that I want. So I put a coat of Abyss. This is a mineral acrylic. I've got my spray bottle in case I need it, and I'm going to dry it until it is mostly dry, not all the way. And then I'm going to take a baby wipe and just rub off some of that top layer. In some places it did go down to the natural wood, and that's okay. I just kind of touched that up with a little bit of the dark wax just to kind of darken it up like I wanted. And then I went with my brush and I started using my dark wax to distress all of the pieces, including the gold ones. I just wanted it to have that vintagey, worn feel to it. And plus, distressing gives it more dimension. Now I'm going over with my top coat. This is dead flat top coat and I'm using it on everything. It takes out the shine except on those heavy metals. They are still plenty sparkly, let me tell you. It is my favorite because I am in my matte era. But I did want nice sparkle on those gold words and it worked out very well. So now I am arranging all my pieces, just making sure that I like how they look before I bring out my art glitter glue. And then once I know that I'm going to stick with what I have, I'll go ahead and glue it down. I love the art glitter glue because it gives you a little bit of wiggle room, and you can move your pieces a little bit even after you press them down. It also dries clear, which is important because I tend to have a heavy hand. Trying to work on that, but so far it's not going so well. And it also does not make your fingers crusty. And as you can tell from all of the black and gold on my fingers, I am a messy crafter. So that is extremely important to me. You can see the score lines on all of the words except for the large a door, and I kind of decided I wanted to kind of kick that down on one edge. Also, the Christ is Born does not have score lines, but all the little words on those two other pieces, there were score lines, and if you hold them up to the light, you can see them, and it really does help you make sure everything's nice and straight. And there are all the pieces. Here they are, dried and in the natural light, and then in my wagon. I love, love, love them. I hope you do too. If you like this video, please sure to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.